Hey, this is CG Ryche from IronWrath. You're banging your head to the Covenant Metal Show with Mr. Dave Kruse.
Hey guys, I am here with IronWrath. Guys, thanks so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Why don't we start off? You tell us your names and your role in the band.
I'm CG Ryche. I'm the drummer dude and also the producer of the band.
I'm Silas. I'm the guitarist and the shredder in the band.
I'm Steve Bell, and I play rhythm guitar and background vocals, and we're having a great time, man.
Awesome. Very cool. So I pulled some information from you guys about you guys from your website, ironwrath.net. And it says here you guys are known as the cinematic masters of metal. And explain to me what exactly, that means.
Well, we were having Chinese food and we all got fortune cookies. And Sean's fortune cookie said that. We thought, hey, let's use that for the band. Cinematic Masters of Metal, it's the style of music we play. So basically, we're metal. Our music lends itself to cinema, which would be in licensing and stuff like that. The way we do that stylistically is we put one foot in the past and we put one foot in the present. And so our sound is very modern, but yet it's got a familiar tone to it with stadium style vocals, choruses, which is extremely important in cinema. And just knowing what the song is, having a handle on the song where it really says something, definitive. Cinematic heavy metal.
So you guys are based out of SoCal, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And how long you guys been around? Like, how did you all meet? And when did the band form?
I want to go on the record and say I'm only 21 before Steve answers this.
All right. Well, way back, long time ago. Probably mid 80s. I went to a local record store here in Riverside, and it was called Cooper's Music. And I just started playing guitar, and I thought, I'd like to find a band to, play in a band. And I looked on their local board, and there was a handwritten note there with the phone number, said, looking for a rhythm guitarist. Pulled the thing off, called it, and that's when I got a hold of Sean. And we ended up jamming with a band. I think we originally called it Free Will. And we did a little bit around Riverside, but we ended up meeting up with someone else. We formed a band called Holy Right, and we actually did a lot more music, and eventually we ended up meeting with CG. We had
they found me in front of Home Depot.
He was in front of Home Depot, and he had a sign.
Looking for work, right?
Looking for work.
Or play for food. So our drummer, decided he was going to do something else, and Sean met CG at some point, and we ended up giving him an audition, and he was in the band Holy Right. So from there, we ended up going to a New Year's gig and decided we wanted something else, and we left the singer of that band and reformed as IronWrath.
And that was 1988.
That was
wow.
Yes, this all started pretty far back. So
yeah.
And here we are, all these years later,
with our art cards.
Hold on, let me clean this up. What?
Yeah, and your senior discount at Denny's,
Yeah, I'm guilty of taking that occasionally. Yeah. Get smaller portions though, so but I guess that's good.
That's awesome. So I'm sure you guys have many musical influences, and I'd like to find out who those are. Sean, who do you try to maybe model? I don't know if model is the word I'm looking for, but who your guitar influences are. What got you to decide, hey, I want to learn to play guitar.
Yes, well, thank you for the question. Yes, my first influences were, I would say probably, it started out with Kiss, with Ace Frehley, off the Kiss Alive 2. And then, I mean, I've been around guitar like my whole life, and my dad, he's a singer, and he played in an R&B band, and he would take me to the rehearsals, and I would get kind of, caught up in that somewhat. And, but yeah, I started out with Ace Frehley, and then that's when I went to one of my dad's rehearsals, he actually had a Van Halen tape when they just came out with the first Van Halen, album, and that's when I heard, Eddie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then after Eddie and Ace Frehley, then it went to Randy Rhoads, and then everybody else that came after that, like George Lynch, Steve Vai, so many guitar players, on John Sykes.
Yeah, Sykes.
Yes, and I mean, I've been playing for so long, and it's all like embedded back in my brain, and all through the years, listening to these guitar players. I mean, like, especially through the 90s, there was John Petrucci from Dream Theater, and I mean, it's a trip, because I mean, now that I think about it, I'm going back in time, and I can hear all my different influences when I'm playing. And when we couldn't play guitar solos, I guess through the 90s, there was other bands, Alice in Chains, but he plays solos. But yeah, so just to condense it a little bit.
Awesome. How about you, Steve?
I started back. The first band I really got into was Black Sabbath, way back, and I was just Sweet Leaf. It was one of my favorite songs, and I just couldn't get enough. And then I come across Pink Floyd, and that just opened up a whole other door. So those are my two biggest influences. I would say early on Black Sabbath, and shortly after Pink Floyd, and David Gilmour's my favorite guitarist, besides Sean Silas.
Oh, bless your heart, brother.
Awesome.
He worked with me early on, because, like I say, I only played a few months looking for a rhythm gig, and Sean coached me along and had the patience to hang in there.
Sean's always sounded the way he sounds now. He sounded like that back then. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did.
How about you, CG?
Oh man, shoot, I go many different directions. Like Steve, Pink Floyd's a huge influence on me. Probably the biggest album that I could say really influenced me would be Peter Gabriel, Security. The drumming was Jerry Marotta. It's very tribal, very obscure. None of you guys would like it, but man, it's magical to me. And then in the metal world, Ozzy Osbourne. 1983, I was at an US festival here in Devore, about 15 minutes from my house. I was on Heavy Metal Day. Didn't even know who Van Halen was. That's how green I was. And I saw Ozzy, and I saw his drummer, Tommy Aldridge, which is a friend of mine now. And I did a solo. And my dad had a drum set. They wouldn't let me play the drums because they said I had no talent, stay off the drum set, and then, which they might have had a point. But I saw
Tommy. Now.
Yeah. Look at me now. I drive the bus. But Tommy Aldridge, I saw him do a drum solo. I thought, I'm going to be that guy if I'm going to do anything. And I really fell in love. So metal-wise, definitely bands early on, your basics, your AC/DCs, and what do you say, Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest. But I really got more into the progressive, the Shrapnel guys, and Tony McAlpine, and I'm a big Zappa fan.
Oh, okay.
I've always been a big Zappa fan, so I was into Bazio and Vinny, who I know Vinny. I've got to do some stuff with Vinny. Just those guys, So, but and then later on in life, I just learned to be a student of music, listen to everything I can that's high up, and that way you learn, you train your ears to hear only top end melodies and stuff. So when you're writing, if you get something wrong, you just feel that something's there. But yeah, that's my main influence has been definitely Pink Floyd and Peter Gabriel, and then metal, everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you guys have an album coming out, Master Storyteller. And can you tell us about the writing process for that? Like, did you have lyrics first, or did you come up with the music first? Was there a theme that you were looking for with the album?
Let me start, and I'll pass it to Sean, because Sean can answer that. We started this 2018, and we always had a dream of creating an album, Master Storyteller, even back in 1988. We have a shirt. I got them over here. Original shirt says Master Storyteller, and then in '93 the version 2, Master Storyteller. Now we actually have the album. But the idea, basically, as we started trying to create the album we never had. But God really steered us beyond what we were thinking. Okay, we were really just gonna put an album out, and that was gonna be it. But God really pulled on us and put us here to really do something different. And so the idea then was to make something more modern that had a familiarity, but at the same time had the big stadium chorus, something that could do something. So we don't have a legacy to rely on, like Stryper. Love Stryper, but if Stryper came out and they sounded like Five Finger Death Punch, it would kill them, because everyone wants. They've created a legacy. They got to kind of stick to it. We don't have that, so we really wanted to create something new that can reach out there as far as possible. We're really looking to, attack and get out there as far as we can to deliver a positive message in the metal world, which needs it more than ever. People in metal are outcasts. They hate the world. They victimize themselves, and it should be the opposite, man. So we're out there to deliver a message. So as far as we really wanted to create that modern sound, and I'll turn it over to Sean about that modern sound and the influences we really looked after.
Yeah, that's exactly how it all got started with this whole thing. From the years of us going through all the songs, I mean, like on the album, there's probably about four or five songs that we actually, 5 songs that we brought back that came back from back in the day. And then from my influences of playing in all these other different bands and getting it all inspired and stuff, I took my sound and kind of morphed it into the sound that was from the past, with the style that we all came up with. Basically the whole songwriting process, it was pretty easy, because we pretty much were kids when we got together, and when we got back together, we already had that whole chemistry on how to work with each other. So that's basically how, in a nutshell, how it all got started, back up again. And I mean, there's so much that we could talk about on that part, but CG, when he produced this, we went through maybe 3 or 4 different versions of songs.
Yeah.
Because it kept on evolving. Like, oh, okay, that's it right there. But it still kept our sound.
I think one of the tricks too was in the vocals. The modern sound has principles or formulas that are very prevalent. You don't want to stick to formulas. Formulas work, use them, but you get the basic idea. And vocally is a big part. And what the modern vocalist does is more semitones. They don't really jump up, to more higher melodic notes. The melody stays more in this pocket rather than really high screams and down low and all over the place like a Ryche or a band from the past. I love the music, but it kind of dates it, and that's one of the things it does. And then also backups. You don't want 3-part harmonies if you want to be more modern. You want to go more to a 4th rather than a 5th, or the 3-part harmonies that are more Kansas and stuff like that. And then also the vocal tone to be more of a baritone, tenor type sound. So those are all things that made it more modern, and Sean really brought the more modern guitar tone And my drumming's always been very unique and very percussive, so I've never really been in any kind of like decade to begin with. So we put all that together to really make the modern sound that hopefully, is something worthy of, somebody's playlists. So
now let's talk about the songs, themes, and messages. Do you set out with a certain message that you're trying to convey, or does it just come out, during the lyric writing process?
No, we definitely have a goal. This album is titled Master Storyteller. There's only one Master Storyteller, but we wanted to tell stories throughout that we think it's important to be marketable, relatable, and relative. A lot of people in metal a lot of times get caught up in this Dungeons and Dragons mythology, and it's all cool, but there's nothing relative that somebody can hang on to. But if you could say something that somebody goes, hey man, that's how I feel, that's how I believe in that, then I think you have something more than a song. You have something that says something to an individual. So with that said, we're everything that you're not supposed to be. We talk religion and politics at the Thanksgiving dinner table. So and we're not and we make no qualms about it or no apologies, and that's what metal should be speaking out and saying stuff that matters. And so all the songs, and I'm sure Steve can break down certain songs that have certain meanings, but that's kind of the essence. There was a definite plan, and this was the plan, and the songs all were organized in that way.
We're hoping that somebody would throw on the album and listen from beginning to the end. That's how it used to be back in the day, and I couldn't. And any new album I ever got, I would open it up, read all the lyrics, check everything out, listen from the beginning to the very end. And we thought that would be nice, not just to have a poppy hit song, but let's tell the story from beginning to end. Let's have this whole thing just flow, and we're hoping that's what everybody gets out of it.
So hey, from IronWrath, we're gonna go ahead and play the title track to their album Master Storyteller. So here it is, IronWrath with Master Storyteller, right here on the Covenant Metal Show. And we're back with IronWrath. And we were talking about band beginnings, the band's musical influences, the writing style. And so do you guys have any plans of, playing out, doing some gigs, maybe some festivals, things like that?
We right now are currently working with Lusa Incorporated, which is a big management. Me as a solo project when I was doing my touring and all that, and she works with Aerosmith and Britney Spears and blah blah blah. So yeah, right now we're actually working on. We're just signing contracts right now, but to pitch us in Europe to do some shows, and Latin America. Our emphasis is really going to be more outside the U.S. just because metal is just not as strong as it needs to be, like it is in Europe or other places in the world. Man, they just they're an army over there. So we hope one day to play some shows here. We're up to play shows, but that's our focus right now. And then also we are trying to create a show. So Master Storyteller will be, our concert, but we're going to create a show kind of like a Roger Waters' The Wall or what Rammstein does. And it'll be all through multimedia to where all that whole show will tie up as a story, all in multimedia. The transitions will be literal films and everything else. So it's an immersive journey, through your imagination, through the combination of film and metal. In our performances. Of course, if logistically we have everything we need. So that's what we're really working on and trying to do. But we're ready right now to start booking gigs. So we're speaking with managements and which will speak to agents and hopefully Immortal Fest 2024.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And promoters, venues, get these guys to Missouri so that I can see them.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We'll go.
Then we'll go looking in the storm drains when it's raining.
There you go. So where can people pick up the new album? How can they get their hands on it? IronWrath merch, and where can they connect with you guys? Social media links, things like that.
Well, merch, all that stuff is on our website. We have an extensive wardrobe we're building up. We really want to make some lifestyle clothing that is just cool and says some stuff. But as far as distribution, Sean, where can they find us?
They could just go to the www.ironwrath.net. Sorry, I'm trying to drink my coffee at the same time, just waking up. And then you could just go there, and then that's like the main hub. And then you could go, and then it has everything there from on Facebook to Instagram to YouTube. And as far as the music goes, I mean, it's worldwide. I mean, from the 16th.
Spotify, Apple Music,
yes,
Amazon, we're everywhere right now. It just launched Friday, the 16th.
Yes.
Very cool. Awesome. Thank you so very much for being on the show. I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate your time.
And then if I can say something, Mr. Kruse, thank you for having us on. For you viewers, thank you so much for your support. But support across the board, man. Support metal music. Support people like Dave Kruse that create quality content, as well as many others out there. Together, we can make some noise, and they'll hear us. So.
Absolutely. Well, guys, be blessed, be a blessing to others, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much.